Ladies and gentlemen, don't you realize that all of the products that we have designed here are there for the purposes of making certain that people maintain their independence and their dignity, and not to wind up like this. Play the video, please.
I know what's going on here. I wish you'd just say it. You don't really want me to live with you. Your house really is too small. I'm sure the money's tight. Besides, I'm his mother, not yours. You probably think this isn't your responsibility. Yes, I can see it on your face. You wish someone else was stuck with me. That would be more convenient for you, wouldn't it?
People often imagine the worst when you don't tell them you really care. Talk to the ones you love.
When I saw that tape, I had to get it, because it began to make me think about this great business that we're in. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine if one of you, a person of significance, met this elderly woman 25 years ago. She might have to say, I have to move in with you, but wouldn't it be nice if she could say, I know I have to move in, but isn't it nice that I bought you a big house so that all 3 kids have their own room? And isn't it nice that I guaranteed their tuition so that their college education is taken care of? And isn't it nice that there's a part of the house where I can have my privacy and dignity and be surrounded by the people I love? And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? You have the ability to do that for people. It's the idea of legacy, and everyone wants it. Legacy is the highest accomplishment in the human condition. And I want you to listen very carefully to something I'm about to tell you. I think this sums up what you do for a living. It's the famous philosopher Reinhold Niemeyer who says this, and listen: nothing that we do that's worthwhile can be fully accomplished in one lifetime. Therefore, we must be saved by hope. Nothing that is real, true, or beautiful can be fully comprehended in the context of current history. Therefore, we must be saved by faith. And finally, nothing we do, no matter how noble, can be accomplished alone. Therefore, we must be saved by love. Hope, faith, and love is what you embody. And I don't think that you ever realize the number of people or the families that will stay intact, the children that will be educated, the businesses that will go on. Even when you die, people will begin and continue to deliver death claims that you've generated. And tell me that that's not a life of significance. And in closing, I want to end on a personal note. The other reason why that videotape got to me was because it reminded me of my mother. You remember I said that I bought long-term care because I didn't want my wife Geraldine and myself to be a burden to our children. But you know what? I never saw it from my mother's perspective. And that's what that video brought out. And I'll always be sorry for perhaps the times we weren't too charitable with her, just to break some of the tension. But you know, I'd like to show you my mom now. I'd like to put her on the screen. There's another part to my mother's story. Those are my 2 sisters, and not long after it, my brother came, and then I came. And when I was 6 months old, my very successful attorney father died without life insurance. And my mother then had to go out and work as a secretary to raise all of us. She had to make some very hard decisions. You see those girls? None of them went to college at the appropriate time, even though one got a full scholarship, because the girls had to work to make sure that the boys could get through school. How do you like that little sibling dynamic? Well, she worked hard. She got us through. I graduated, and then she got sick. And then after she got sick, she began to see that she would become dependent. And as my mother would say it is, I would be inconvenient. And so she willed herself to die. And that's why she's not here. to see her son on the main platform of the $1 Million Round Table. And you know what? I don't think that people deserve to go out like that. And I want to know, where was the person of significance, the advocate who could have taken my father, even pushed him up against the wall and said, don't you understand you have to have life insurance because I'm advocating for your wife, because if you're gone, life could be miserable. Where was the advocate who advocated for my sisters who were denied a college education at the appropriate time? And where was the advocate even for my father, whose youngest son stands in front of you now? And the only legacy I can tell you my father left us was he left us alone. You have to understand what your sacred trust is. You have to overcome your call reluctance. It has to come from the heart to go out and find people like the elderly woman or my mother, because you have to protect them. You have to help people ask the questions they cannot ask unaided with you, which is, what would happen if I'm not here to be around to take care of my family? And finally, you have permission to be confrontational with people because you're dealing with their most precious asset, their children and their legacy. And if someone is disrespectful of you or treats you like a used car salesman or says you're a pushy salesman, do you know what you tell them? What I do for a living is I protect the innocent when someone dies prematurely. I provide a worry-free retirement that people can't outlive. I protect their assets when they get sick, and I provide legacy when they die, because I, meaning you, live a life of significance. Thank you.